Hey, what's up guys? So I'm going to be doing a deck profile for Bls Armory Arm Chaos Dragons, and it is a pretty fun deck. As you guys know, I was making Bls Armory Arm, and I was playing it, and it's a very, very good deck. OTK is really fast, and I really feel it has a good matchup against certain things, like Chaos Dragons. I feel like it can beat that. The only thing is, like, I really don't like the Dino Rabbit matchup too much, although I have beat it, as you guys have seen. But the thing is, like, it's not very fun to, like, record duels with this. I've done a whole bunch of duels, but like people just quit because obviously they know what's coming when Blackluster Soldier comes out, and like the deck's really good. I'll admit it doesn't really take very much skill, but there are really cool plays you can do with, like, getting Armory Arm out and like equipping it to like stuff like Cephalon for a 5,000 attacker. It's pretty awesome. So with that said, I'm gonna go ahead and get into the deck profile. So first off, Heavy Storm. We're playing Monster Reincarnation, two Monster Reincarnation, one Reborn, and Future Fusion. Pretty good stuff. I really do like these. I feel like these are really good, and the reason why I'm not playing Warrior Returning Alive is because I decided to drop it for Monster Reincarnation just because I am playing the Chaos Dragons, and this really does help out. Also, getting back a 4,000 beater against things like Dark Worlds or Chaos Dragons, it really does help, because my local is basically Chaos Dragons plus Dark Worlds, and there are some other people playing, like E-Heroes and some other decks, but generally that's the meta there. It's pretty much, there's a few players playing the Chaos Dragons and a few players playing the Dark World. That's basically the meta at my locals. But yeah, next up, 3 Magical Merchant. When you open up with this card and it goes off, you basically win. Like, literally, this card is just so good, and it is an insect, which is pretty interesting, and it's light. Like, I really like that it's light, because if you mail it, like, no problem, it's still a light target. Plus, it's level 1, so you can actually get this card back with Junk Synchron, so really good stuff. Next up for the lights, we're playing triple Wyvern. Oh, nope, never mind. Double Wyvern. Blackluster Soldier is not a dragon. But yeah, just double. I think double is perfectly fine. You can try out 3, but I generally always went for Darkron, and then, like, sometimes I just milled too much, and Darkron wasn't good. If I was going to play this deck and, like, try to make it a little bit better, again, I would play Phantom of Chaos. Phantom of Chaos would be a very good card in this deck, because you can just, like, remove Darkron and then start popping your opponent's entire field and like overlay with it if you have another like level 4. Really good stuff. Blackluster Soldier, self-explanatory. He's the win condition, and you can get him back multiple times. You can get him back with those 2 cards, and really good. And you can reborn him if you special summon properly. Then I'm playing 2 Cephalon. This card's amazing. I equipped Armory Arm once to this guy, and he became 5,000 attack. And on top of that, my opponent's monster being Light Pulsar, being able to destroy and inflicting pretty good amounts of damage, because he still takes he'll take the 25, plus he'll take the 15, so it's basically like free direct attack for 4,000. And then you top that off with an Honest. It's pretty dirty. But yeah, playing Honest. Oh, also Monster Incarnation, great target to get back with Honest. That's another card that I really like, just because Honest is a dirty card. Double Lilat, double Raikou. And then it wouldn't be Chaos Dragons without triple Light Pulsar. And that is it for the monsters. For the light monsters. The rest is all still monsters, but they're all dark. So we've got triple tour guide, pretty self-explanatory. Sangan over here hiding. But yeah, really simple. You just basically use it to get Levier, or you can stall. You can go for Zen mains if you need to make Zen mains to stall. But generally, I made tour guide to Sangan, and then set Sangan, and then go for Magical Merchant, because once a merchant goes off, you win. Basically, most of the time, unless you like only mill 1 card, which, it can happen, rarely though. Playing 2 Trag just because it helps out, and then this is like, kind of the reason why I made that video about DD Crow being so awesome is because I'm main decking triple Crow. As you guys know, you guys wondered, why is there no Valor in here? Well, Valor doesn't stop Dark Worlds, nor does it really hurt Chaos Dragons, and this card puts in work against both those decks. One time, a player had to allure because he had a bad hand, so he allured Red as Darkness Metal, and then he ended up milling Red as Darkness Metal during his end phase, and I'm like, well, I can just wait for him to get Light Pulsar. So then, him going for Light Pulsar, and then goes attack into my Light Pulsar. I'm like, you know what, it's cool, I'll just chain DD Crow to your attack, and then I just remove his target, and then, I didn't have a target for my Light Pulsar, but he didn't either, so it made it worth it for me. But yeah, removing from play Graphus is good too. It's always great to let your opponent summon their Dark World and then get rid of their Grapha right then after they summon, because that way you can run over their monster and then they kind of go minus. Darkharn, I really think this card is a great card. However, in this deck, it just doesn't come out too often. I got it out once. But the thing is, it wasn't really viable. Unless you're playing cards like Phantom of Chaos, which allow you to like keep on removing and control your darks better, don't think I would play Dark Armor in this deck. Yeah, but next up we're playing Gores, pretty self-explanatory. We're playing Double Fader, pretty good against decks that like to OTK. You know, Chaos Dragons is a deck that likes to OTK. Chaos Sorcerer, very awesome. I wish I kind of bumped this up to 2. I felt like this card was really good. I might Arcanite Magician twice. Arcanite Magician, very good. Plus, Arcanite Magician is another light target. I did that by reborning their effect Veiler, and then, you know, Arcanite plus Chaos Sorcerer equals... I'm sorry, Chaos Sorcerer plus Arcanite equals the ability to... go for Arcanite, yeah. Putting 2 red Xerxes Metal, self-explanatory, and the card that gets out Armor, Junk Synchron. I did actually make Frozen Fitzgerald once, although I didn't really matter because it got warning. I was excited. I was like, yeah, Frozen Fitzgerald, it's awesome. I really do like that card, just because against E-Heroes, you know, with them having so much back row, and like all those deep prisons and stuff, I felt like it was a pretty good card to make, but yeah, unfortunately, Solemn Warning kind of stops Frozen Fitzgerald from seeing any play. But yeah, so this has been the deck profile for the Black Luster Soldier Chaos Dragons. It's a very good deck, and I really think that it has a good matchup against a lot of things in the meta right now. Although, like, obviously if you get wound up, I like wind-ups, because wind-ups are really popular right now on the Dueling Network. If you want to try this deck out, you can try using Cyber Dragons in the main deck. It is also a very good card. But yeah, I think I might try this deck in the future, but I honestly don't think this deck takes very much thought process. It's relatively simple, and it does win against a lot of stuff, but it's not a deck that I personally like to play as far as Yu-Gi-Oh! I do like to let my opponent do their plays, and I like to, like, play Yu-Gi-Oh! I like to play through it. I don't like to, like, go for, like, 6 Sams and, like, set up on a field and just go negate, okay, I win. I like to, like, see what my opponent does, and I like to have fun. But, like, yeah, if I was playing a serious tournament, you know, this deck actually would be kind of viable. Like, seriously, I think this deck can actually, it has potential. Like, I really think that, I mean, it can OTK at any time, and the great thing with this deck is, even though there's no back row, the way you kind of play is you just play so aggressive that you end up having, like, Light Pulse on your field all the time. I mean, it's just basically playing like Chaos Dragons, except for you get, like, way more, like, huge monsters. Like, you have access to this, which allows you to get back a lot of different things. You have really quick access to that once you, you know, go for Magical Merchant. Like, if you just draw into that, and you have the targets, you can win. But if you run out of targets, it is kind of unfortunate. But, like, this is a card where I feel like you need to open up with it within the first 3 turns. Even if you're playing Chaos Dragons, you need to open up with this fast if it's actually going to be useful. What else is there to say about this deck? This card's awesome. It's a tuner, and it's been a while since I've actually synchroed. Made a deck that can actually synchro, because Exceeds are kind of like, not essentially replacing synchros, but they are kind of like really popular right now, and you know, there's a whole bunch of more support, I'd say, for Exceeds, because, you know, I mean, they just came out, so obviously they want to, like, kind of promote them a little bit, and that's okay for the game. I think that, you know, the game needs to change. What else is there to mention? Oh, Darkheim, that needs to come out, or Phantom Chaos needs to come in this deck. I do not want to take out the 3D Crow, for my locals at least, if I was to play this deck again. I think that's pretty much all there is to say. Oh, this card's awesome. It makes Light Pulsar miss timing. And I did that quite a few times. Yeah, I mean, what's really cool, actually, is you can Sangan, and then you can search out Magical Merchant, and then set Raikou, and then they won't see it coming. And sometimes they won't even attack Merchant, because they're like, oh no, it's Merchant, he's gonna win. But, yeah, if there's any improvements for this deck that you think I can do, let me know, because, you know, I do want to play with this deck on Dueling Network a little bit more, just for funsies, but I don't think I'll be playing it at locals anymore. It's just because the thought process is, like, equivalent to maybe wind-ups. It's just, there's not much thought process, if you get what I'm saying. But thanks for watching, guys. If you do want to check out this deck and try it out yourself, go ahead and do so. And I actually want to see this deck top, because it'd be so awesome, because that will really force Black Luster Soldier to get banned. This card's also really good, but it can become dead if you draw it too early on. But yeah, realistically, I really think this card it needs to go away. I really don't like this card in the game. I mean, I like drawing it. I like it when I have it and my opponent doesn't. But when they have it, it's just like, that card is so unfair. Well, even when I have it, I know it's unfair. But this card really needs to go, and if this deck ever tops, like a Black Luster Armory Arm OTK deck, like, imagine if that tops. Like, this card hands down will get banned, and I think that would be good for the game. And I'm sure there's no one that disagrees with me on that, you know, Black Luster Soldier is bad for the game. But thanks for watching, guys. Asian Eyes White Dragon, signing out.